Hello, beautiful people. This is Eric Kearney, President and CEO of the Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky African American Chamber of Commerce, giving you a business basics update. So this month, we are going to cover the business basics for how to finance the acquisition of a business. So many people ask me, how do I do it? How do I buy a company if I don't have a lot of money, if I don't have a bunch of strategic advisors, if I don't have all of those things? Well, I'm going to give you 21 ideas about how to buy a business, strategies, tactics, techniques on this. Now, some of these, to be quite honest with you, I have used myself when I bought various businesses earlier in my career. Some of them I've read about, or I've advised people as a practicing attorney on how to implement and execute some of these strategies. I am telling you now that you should talk to a lawyer, you should talk to an accountant. These are just ideas. I'm providing them to you. Okay, so essentially what you want to do is you want to build a pyramid, a financial pyramid, and you mix and match these 21 strategies, tactics, techniques that I'm going to provide to you in order to build your financial pyramid to acquire the business that you seek. You can use some of them, all of them, in whatever fashion you'd like. Okay, 1 through 4. The first ones, use your own money. That's obvious, right? You've got a business, you want to buy it, use your own money. But you don't have to use all of your own money. You can also get money from your friends and family. They know you the best, they love you, they'll support you in buying this business. You can also get seller financing. So let's say the business is $100,000, just using that number. You put a third of that money down, $33,000 yourself. You get a loan from the seller of $33,000, and let's say you get a bank loan, bank financing, which is number 4, and that is how you get to the $100,000 in order to acquire the business. So those are the first 4 strategies. Those are probably the easiest. Now we're going to get a little bit more complex. The next ones are future vendors. So you go to vendors and you say to them, hey, listen, you're doing business with the company I'm trying to acquire. Would you consider a loan, or would you consider providing me with product or services or whatever it might be for a certain period of time so I don't have to pay that? And so that effectively gives you cash in your pocket. Future customers is another one. So you might say to the customers of the business, you love this business so much. Let's say it's a restaurant. You love this restaurant. You go here every week. Why don't you give me a loan? I'm going to take over this business. I want to keep it open. You love it. I'll keep the menu items that you love. And that's another way to do it. Future assets. So perhaps they're assets that the business owns, let's say, that you don't necessarily need in order to operate the business the way that you want to. You can sell those assets beforehand and say to the person, hey, listen, this, let's say it's a refrigerator, using the restaurant example. I'll sell you that refrigerator now. You give me the cash now. I'll deliver it to you after I close on the business. And so that's a way to get money. And then future accounts receivable, future AR. That means that people who owe you, owe the business, right? You say to them, pay now, and I will use that money, that advance payment, in order to fund the acquisition. Okay, so now we've got a whole bunch of them on this sheet, right? And this slide I know is complicated. Credit cards. I'm not saying that's great, but it's a way, right? I'm giving you ideas here about how to acquire a business, how to finance the acquisition of a business. A home equity loan. Again, it's probably not the best thing to do because you don't want to tie up where you live, where your family lives, with your business, but it's a strategy. SBA loans and SBA microloans or another good way to acquire a business. You can use those. You can work through the SBA, work through a banking relationship, and get the SBA loan. Then a joint venture. This is a little bit different. So you might approach a joint venture partner with, there are certain businesses that this would work well with, and say to them, hey, listen, we'll do a joint venture. Perhaps it's a construction firm, and you say, we'll do a joint venture in the future. Let me have some of those profits that we would share as joint venture partners in order to acquire this business. And so your joint venture partner, who has worked, let's say, with that business before, would be willing to do that. Venture capital. So there are venture capitalists who are out there that will provide funding for an acquisition or funding for a seed stage company. We just had Kelly Jones of 68 Capital out of Indianapolis who spoke to us, and she's somebody who's very approachable, and her fund, who knows, might want to do it, but you should check that out. Also, they're angel investors. So if you know people who are interested in acquiring interesting companies. So angel investors are typically quiet investors. They'll invest some money, expect a return, let's say over 7 years, it may be. And so those, if you know people who do that, you can ask them to invest in your acquisition of the company. A GoFundMe page, you can always try that and see if there are people who are willing to invest in your ability to acquire a company. Crowdfunding. So there's sites like wonderfund.co, and they will post your company, and you can offer shares in your company in order to acquire another company. That's something. And then ABL, which is asset-based lending. And that's utilizing the assets of the business as collateral for a loan in order to acquire that business. So any one of those strategies may work. Here are 3 more. You can get an investor, unlike an angel investor, an investor and a partner. So someone who has money and has skills that are complementary to your skills. So they may be good at something that you're not good at. You're good at certain things and they're not good at them, and they have money. And so that creates a marriage in order to acquire the company. And then you can think about loans from employees. You can ask your employees, hey, will you give me a loan so that I can acquire this business and I will ensure that you will continue to be employed. And then if there's real estate involved, that's always great, because you could either use the real estate as an asset to borrow against. You could lease part of the property. Maybe they're using a big plant and you only need half of it. You could lease out the other half of that company, or lease out the other half of that building, I mean. So if real estate is involved in the acquisition of the company that you're thinking about, that's always a good thing to try and do. So those are 21 strategies, tactics, techniques that you can use in order to acquire a business. This is Business Basics from the Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky African American Chamber of Commerce. My name is Eric Kearney. Be safe, be well.